Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Liz Eston.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Liz to like musical theater. And guys, we have a super special returning guest.
Ooh, a very special returning guest.
Very special returning guest. Please join me in welcoming queer surrealist playwright, Coldplay enthusiast, and Cyrano 2022 truther, Hayley St.
Hey guys, I'm
Hayley.
back.
Have we talked since the pandemic? Like
A couple times.
okay, I mean, like on the podcast. Have you been on?
Oh, I mean on the podcast. I think because I was on twice.
You're right. You're right.
Because we did both of those during the pandemic when I was.
You're right.
Back in Massachusetts in my parents' house.
My
But
gosh.
I'm in New York now, bitches.
Good old NYC.
I'm home.
Alrighty. But you know what, Hayley? Me and Andrew have had some issues lately, and maybe you could give us some advice on this problem we've got going on right here. You see, I have this BFF that has friend zoned me for a while, and they caught Andrew just in the wild, and they're in love, and Andrew does not have the words that I do, and I kind of,
so.
I'm not the best
I don't
looking
know if
person
that's
in the
true or
world.
not, but okay.
So I've been secretly writing letters under a pseudonym for Andrew to this woman. And you know what? It's just a whole mess. And we're just lies upon lies. What should we do, Hayley?
I mean, I was you guys. I don't know. Maybe sing about it. I don't know.
My thought was we could both die tragically.
Wait, die maybe, Andrew?
Yeah, what if we both
Maybe? I
died
don't know.
tragically?
Like tragically in a war?
Ooh, yeah, that would be. I mean,
Thoughts on that?
You know what?
dying for
sold.
love is always quite romantic, but yeah.
Yeah, women love that.
Women really like that, especially when they don't have to exist after the fact. Like this,
My
just the
dream
movie's
man
over.
is one who dies in a war for me, and then I don't get to be with them.
I'd give anything. Da, 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 da. This week we are talking about Cyrano. Cue the music, Bree.
I need more. I need more. I need waves of desire to come over me. And teardrops on the floor. I feel like I've been too long with my thoughts anyway. I've cornered myself in the loneliest place. I won't let you lose me now that you found me.
Cyrano is a musical with a book by Erica Schmidt adapted by the play by Edmund Ronstadt, music and lyrics by Bryce Desner, Aaron Desner, and Matt Berenger, based on Cyrano de Bergerac by Edmund Rostand. It premiered off-Broadway in previews on October 11, 2019, and officially opened on November 7th, 2019 at the Daryl Roth Theater. The film adaptation of Cyrano had its world premiere at the 48th Annual Telluride Film Festival on the 2nd of September 2021, had a one-week theatrical run in Los Angeles on December 17, 2021, and was open for a wide theatrical release in the United States and the United Kingdom on February 25th, 2022. The plot is the legendary romance about a proud and impassioned poet who ghostwrites love letters is rekindled in a timeless and unconventional musical. Cyrano agrees to woo his true love, Roxanne, on behalf of another in this classic tale of unrequited love. Music by members of the Grammy Award-winning indie alternative band The National drives the story of mistaken identity, selfless courage, and buried desire. All right, so we're gonna mostly talk about the movie here, but Hayley, you do have some history with the stage show. Do you want to dive into that real quick?
Yeah, sure. So I actually saw the stage production of the Erica Schmidt national version of Cyrano when it was at the Daryl Roth in 2019. It was my last semester of college. That was a really good season for off-Broadway. Like 2019's off-Broadway season was ridiculous. It was so stacked. We got like Octet and Strange Loop and In the Green, and Cyrano was right at the tail end. And Cyrano was just really special because I only really went in knowing that Peter Dinklage was in it, and I knew Grace McLean and Scott Stangland from Great Comet. They were in it as well. So I went in with no expectations at all. I was not familiar with the original Edmund Rostand. I had never read Cyrano de Bergerac, seen any adaptations of Cyrano de Bergerac in any capacity. I was completely floored by this musical. I thought it was so beautiful and intimate and gorgeous, and the music made me cry like a baby, and Peter Dinklage was so so damn incredible. His performance moved me to tears, and I, wanted everybody to go see it, but it was in a very limited engagement because it was off Broadway, Daryl Roth, very small house, and I was so blown away by the show. And then right at the beginning of the pandemic, I believe they announced that they were making a film adaptation, and Joe Wright, who is the director of Pride and Prejudice and Atonement and so many other amazing
And Pan. Don't forget Pan.
Oh, I did on purpose. Sorry.
Can't forget that classic.
Oh God. But he's just in general a very good period drama type director. He tends to do very theatrical type things. I didn't see his Anna Karenina, but I've heard it's very theatrical. So I was on board from the beginning. And so I waited. I waited 2 years for this movie to come out, and it kept getting delayed because it was supposed to come out around Christmas, and then at that point it only got the LA release. And I was like, I live in New York. Why are they not doing an LA New York release? This is ridiculous. Am I the only person hyped for this movie? But by the time it did come out, I did get to see it, and it was everything I wanted and more. This really is just such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. And I'm just really grateful that the musical works so well on film because, I mean, it's a musical based on a play, so it's actually so inherently theatrical that it actually does make sense to adapt it even further.
I agree. Andrew, what did you think of the movie? And be honest.
I mean, I thought it was good. I feel like some of the singing is lackluster, in my opinion.
What, you don't think Ben Mendelsohn has the voice of an angel?
Not necessarily, and I don't know. I didn't actually see any of it, but you said the live performances were better.
I think
Jess, but
yeah.
I didn't watch those, and I thought that the orchestrations were really good, but the singing kind of let them down in a lot of cases. But I still think overall the movie was really good. I just wish that there was better recordings of these songs.
There are parts I agree with you, Andrew, about, and there's parts that I really, really lean the other way. So here's where I sit on the movie. Joe Wright is one of my favorite directors. Directed one of my favorite films of all time. The Pride and Prejudice adaptation is just so beautiful. Such a perfect adaptation.
Beautiful film.
No notes. I literally, a week from today, am seeing that in theaters. Like, that is how much I love that movie.
Fun. I love it.
So Joe Wright, very, very theatrical, big director. I think he's good for musical theater. I think the problem with the movie is the problem with almost every Cyrano adaptation. Because after watching the movie the first time, because Hayley wonderfully shared a screener with me, because we were both in search of finding Cyrano. Loved it the first watch. Like, it was just like, everything's great. Everything's so good. It works to Peter Dinklage's advantage. I'm not sure if the role was specifically written for him, but it might as well have been.
Knowing Erica Schmidt, who is Peter Dinklage's partner in real life, this adaptation was basically written to his strengths, and also because the National are one of his favorite bands, and Matt Berninger, who is lead singer of the National, they have very similar voice types. So if anything, it was very much tailor written for Peter Dinklage to play.
Yes, and he does fantastic with it. There's just aesthetic things that I liked better about the stage show, because I've been binging a lot of audios of the stage show.
Which I didn't have, which is shocking, knowing me.
Yes. The movie does a lot of disservices to some roles, where I feel like Roxanne as a character kind of gets done a little dirtier in the movie. And I think it just might be performance-wise and framing-wise. And I kind of prefer some of the, like, aesthetic choices where Grace McLean is kind of like her lady-in-waiting kind of assistant.
Yeah, Grace is Marie. Grace was Marie in the off-Broadway production. And Jasmine Cephas Jones from Hamilton was Roxanne. Though actually, this production did have one prior production at the Goodspeed Opera House, I believe, in Connecticut. And actually, Haley Bennett, who is the movie, Roxanne, was the original stage Roxanne. She couldn't do the new group production because of prior commitments.
Which I understand. I just think that the director kind of gets lost with them, where it comes alive when Cyrano's on stage and he's like fighting with a sword, and all those action scenes are kind of where the movie picks up. And then we cut to poor Roxanne, like, I don't love Ben Mendelsohn. And I'm like,
I don't know if you knew this, but Haley Bennett is actually Joe Wright's partner in real life. So this is
a couple on couple thing.
This is very much like there's the creative team of this film are couples in real life. So I think that like that adds a little something. Like it's something I
okay.
don't think a lot of people realize.
I don't realize that. I knew about Erica Schmidt. I knew
Yes,
that
Erica
one.
Schmidt and Peter Dinklage. Yes, most people do not realize that Joe Wright and Haley Bennett are partners in real life. So, and that being said, it's definitely very interesting to compare Jasmine and Haley because I enjoy both of them a lot. Obviously, I'm a little biased
Yeah.
because I saw Jasmine first, but I do really enjoy Haley's take on the role. I just there's just so many layers to the way they made the movie because the stage version obviously isn't as lush. It's very, very intimate. I'd say the dancing was basic, like the choreography for most of the movie is very, very similar, even though like the stage version had a lot fewer people. Like there was a lot of really gorgeous choreography that was very symbolic and very gestural and very gorgeous. Especially in like the bakery scene, like that from the movie and in the stage version are very similar. I was like, yes, oh, I'm living. But it was just very interesting to see how they transitioned from having a very small cast to having, you know, a big Hollywood, you know, massive MGM musical cast for the movie. Though actually, fun fact, they actually reuse a lot of the extras throughout the whole movie since they filmed the entire movie on location in a little town in Italy, like on the base of Mount Etna, which actually, when they were filming the war scenes, the last day of shooting, there was an eruption.
I would have been out of there.
Yeah, I
would've
don't know
been
how
like-
they managed to do it. I don't know why I know this. I don't know. I've been, hyperfixated on this movie for a while. So
It is probably one of the better period musicals in, I'd say, a couple decades, unless I can think. No, I can't think of another one as good as this. The thing is, a lot of my things are aesthetic. Like in the original stage show, they have a lot like darker kind of clothing and like the kind of stage design's a little bit more bleak. But I feel like there's more of a journey with the movie where we start with like these bright like browns and all that, and then we kind of fall into like the wintry cold.
yes.
And then there's just scenes that the movie nails, like the Wherever I Fall. Like that is so much better in the movie.
I mean, the thing is, like, I love both versions because obviously Scott Stangland is a dear, dear friend, and his performance made me cry like a baby. But also, I love Glenn Hansard, and like the fact that they both were in Once, like, makes me very happy because Once is great. I just that scene. I remember I lost my mind seeing that on stage, and like I thought about that song for eons, and the fact that I didn't know that like someone had audio recording of this show until like today, like broke me because I've been wanting to revisit it for so long. So when the movie soundtrack came out, like I was listening to it nonstop, and all like the emotions I had from seeing it came back. And the thing is, the soundtrack came out like a few months before the movie ended up coming out.
Yeah.
So I was like already prepared. I was already seeing the movie singing along, which was not ideal, but like at the same time, like I was just here to see how they were going to do everything on the screen. So I also really appreciate just one of my favorite just moments of the show is that every letter, like the trio, the way that is shot like a really, really sexy music video made me very happy.
Yes, that scene, like there are scenes in the movie that really sing, and there are ones that sing less well. And I think that's kind of what throws people off about this, because for most things that I do that are movie focused, I also show my significant other and bring them in because they aren't musical theater wise, and it kind of helps me frame things for Andrew when I get to him seeing it eventually. So I show them this, and they're like, I just find myself falling from these fantastical worlds back to reality, and it feels jarring. And I understand it, but I fundamentally disagree with it. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun of a musical. But Andrew, how does this compare to something like Les Mis, which is another like high energy like period drama musical?
I mean, I think that they're pretty comparable. I don't think that this has memorable tunes in it, which is one of the things I like about Les Mis.
I'm talking like as a film adaptation.
I'm
talking as a film adaptation, my bro.
You just mean as a film?
Yeah.
I mean, this is considerably better than the Les Mis film.
But why though? Because there are elements that are similar. Like I feel like the toned down, parsed down elements seen in Les Mis is here.
I mean, I don't think they're comparable because the Les Mis movie is just kind of bad. I don't really want to do that. You know, it's not a nice comparison because
Okay.
we're basically, it's like, why is this better than listening to Hugh Jackman like moan on screen? You know, like
God. I have never rewatched the Les Mis movie. Once was more than enough.
yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you're better off without it. I do want to say that I think Peter Dinklage almost is too good for the movie, meaning that it kind of overshadows everyone else because of
I
how
agree
great
with that.
It's interesting because you go ahead.
I think his acting is phenomenal, but some of the songs I feel like he stumbles a little bit.
I don't think he stumbles. I think the song is limited to him in a way, where it's like the moment feels like it should be a big Anatole scream, but it's Peter Dinklage doing very good in his range.
No, I mean, because since the score was written, at least the stuff for Peter Dinklage was written for Peter Dinklage to sing. I mean, knowing that like he's been playing this role for as long as he has, like, and the fact that it was tailor-made for him, of course he's going to be too good for it because he is so perfectly cast and everything. I mean, they basically only really marketed this movie as a Peter Dinklage prestige film. They didn't really talk about the fact it was a musical. They didn't really talk about anything. The marketing for this movie made me so mad because the National are amazing songwriters. Like, I think the score, like the reason why like I think the score is very underrated is because it is basically just alt rock Broadway, but like in a way that's still very indie. And a lot of these songs could just function very well as like rock, like alt rock or alt pop things you would hear on the radio. But they're just sung by these, theater trained voices for the most part. And it's just the fact that they obviously didn't advertise this at all because they just wanted to be, this is the Peter Dinklage Cyrano movie. So like, even when I was talking to people, I wouldn't say, oh, it's the Cyrano musical. I would just say it's the Peter Dinklage Cyrano. That's what everybody knew this as. And even with the stage version, when it was at New Group, they didn't really advertise it was a musical either. I think just the fact that it's Peter Dinklage in this iconic role that's being adapted for him, getting rid of the whole long nose is why he's insecure about himself, and just making it about like Peter Dinklage being who he is as a little person is just, that was what they were focusing on for this whole thing between the stage version and the movie. So yes, it is very much the Peter Dinklage vehicle, and of course it would be nice to see them hype up everything else.
Yes. Only bring that up specifically because as much as I think the gentleman playing, what's the other fella's name?
Christian?
Oh, yeah, Christian is doing good.
Kelvin is great because the guy who played it in the stage version is the guy who was not good to Melissa Benoist, so we hate him.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. He was not good anyway. He was also not a very good Christian. He was boring. He was so boring. Kelvin was dynamic and interesting and funny, and I was like quite charmed by him, and like I enjoyed him and Peter Dinklage's dynamic, and I enjoyed him and Haley Bennett's dynamic. Stage version Christian had no chemistry with anybody because he's awful.
Yes. Fuck that guy. Hardcore. I do want to talk about the second watch. First watch, watched it alone, cried myself to sleep. Great overall experience. Second watch with my partner, we double featured it with Roxanne. And this is where I'm going to drag Liz Eston into this, because I wanted to watch Cyrano, and they really wanted to be like, I want to watch a romantic comedy with Steve Martin. And I was like, it's the same movie. Let's go. Let's do this. So we started with Roxanne, which is a charming, dumb comedy. Daryl Hannah plays the Haley Bennett equivalent, and the first scene is like her naked, and then she asks CB or something like that because Cyrano de Bergerac, and it's dumb. It's kind of dumb. For help, and it's like, oh, this is gross.
His name
and he has
is C.D. Bales.
C.D. Bales. Oh, CDB.
CDB.
Yeah, that's the kind of movie it is. And it's cute, it's fine, but the Christian equivalent, nothing. There is nothing to that person. There is no impact there. And then we watch Cyrano, and I'm just kind of like lost in the Roxanne of it all. And then the music just waves over me. I will say a lot more people that I just personally know, like just day to day my work life, saw this movie in theaters, strangely. And they're like, I thought this was just another Cyrano movie, and they're singing. I like the songs, but this person is just my work friend, and they're like, I loved it until the balcony scene, and then after the balcony scene, it kind of just feels like it's just like spinning wheels. And then we get to that war scene, Wherever I Fall, and then I'm back in. And that let me ride for the rest of the movie. They sound nothing like this. But this is the conversation I had.
There isn't very much time between those two scenes.
They do a bit of a time jump.
Yeah.
And that was also how they did it on stage too. Like it's just cuts to they're on the war zone. Like
I guess
it
your
varies
coworker just didn't like the one song sung by
Ben Mendelsohn.
what's his name? Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn, which is a really
that's like
fun villain song.
That's like the only thing that happens between the balcony and the war scene.
There's a marriage and a lot of other stuff. Come on, stuff
The marriage
happens.
is like 2 minutes.
Marriage, and then Ben Mendelsohn comes in and is like, no, I'm not letting you do this. I'm sending you to war.
You're
And then
going to war, and then
going
they're
to
at war, and then
they're
that's
at war.
it.
I just want a
like
sign
nothing.
that says war, and then they pan from it to like Peter Dinklage stealing the apples and stuff he was doing in the opening scene. You know what I wanted, strangely enough? What was the name of Cyrano's little buddy that hung around him and is like, oh come on, you love
Lebret.
Roxanne.
Lebret.
I wanted the guy that played Lebret to play Christian. I don't know why. I just kind of like that
Aw.
vibe.
Oh, that would have been cute.
Yeah.
I mean, are you talking about stage version Lebret or
Both. I think they both did a great job.
They're both great. Because the first time I saw the movie was my screener, and then my second time I saw it was at Alamo Drafthouse on opening, like, because I love a good Alamo
way.
Drafthouse, because I live 20 minutes from the one in Brooklyn. So, I went to the one in, I went to the new one that's in, the financial district. And it was a decently full house, and yet again, I'm the only person here who knows it's a musical, but like, there are a lot of like teenage girls here who are like here because like, oh, it's by the guys who did Pride and Prejudice, and like they're just crying, and it was just like being there in an audience was really nice. It's definitely a movie I wish, I would have seen more than once in theaters, because I just think it really benefits from that, because it is a theater adaptation, and I always think theater adaptations feel better in a movie theater with a good size audience.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But it's just seeing it on the big screen made me really just appreciate a lot of just the details with like the costume work and the, like, as I said, like the fact that they filmed this on location, this like tiny little town on the base of the volcano is just so stunning.
Joe Wright knows how to use a location to their advantage. Very well.
Joe Wright, basically this movie for me, like kind of cemented my dream Great Comet film adaptation. I want Joe Wright to direct it, and I want Peter Dinklage as Pierre.
Ooh, I want him as Anatole.
No, I mean
Not Anatole. What's the other
Lucas
one?
has to be
Dolokhov.
Oh, Pierre, he would be a good Dolokhov. I mean, obviously
They're just
nobody.
gonna cast Josh Groban. I mean, come on.
Groban would be Pierre again, but at the same time, Peter Dinklage just, he's good. I mean, if they do a Comet movie, I just don't know how it would work, because it was just so specially made for the stage. And
Yes.
just,
I don't think they should.
The last
I
time
think it
they
would
made
be-
a War and Peace like adaptation that was like filmed, it was like the miniseries with Paul Dano, and like Paul Dano was a really good Pierre.
Yeah.
But like it just didn't really fully work for me other than Paul Dano. So
If you just get Josh Groban to play all the parts in the Great Comet movie, it'll win every award.
Except Anatole. We'll leave that one.
Yeah,
No,
leave
it
that
needs
one
to
up,
be
but
Lucas.
everyone else is Josh Groban.
Everyone else is Josh Groban and like
I love
different
that we're
vibes.
just calling him Josh Groban. Is that
There's
like
an
our
origin
nickname
story
for
to calling
now?
him Josh Groban.
We literally just call him that on this podcast.
It's
I don't know
so
why.
Funny, because like
That's what I call him, so that's why.
Then we all
'cause
call
he's
him
a
Josh
good guy.
Groban.
That's so funny.
I
That's
don't
really
know.
What's his
funny.
name?
I don't know
Does
if
he
Josh
have a
would
different name?
Shut up, Andrew. All right, it's time to move on to the
What?
next second.
I thought his name was Josh Groban.
No, his name. Okay. We need to move on. Next, we're moving on to everyone's favorite section. It's time for previews.
What is it, Mr. Groban?
Shut up, Andrew.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
So it's time to compare our opinions to those from the very, very strange folks over at letterboxd.com. It's time to play a game of 1 star or 5 star, where I and Liz Eston are gonna quiz Andrew and Hayley on random reviews off Letterboxd, and you have to guess whether it's a 1 star review or a 5 star review. It is either or. It's not. There's no threes in here. It's either 1 star or 5 star. It's a binary.
Gosh. I don't use Letterboxd. Like, I know a lot of people who do, and like I think it's cool. Like, it's another reason why I don't really use like Show Score for theater. It's like I like that people have a place to like share their reviews, but at the same time, like I just rather would like just read people's tweets and shit.
I agree, but people tend to show how horny they are on Letterboxd, which is weird. It's a strange.
I just do that normally.
So my last Letterboxd
You've
review.
seen my Twitter.
My
Your
last
Twitter's
Letterboxd review
wonderful.
was for a Bart Johnson movie who played Coach Bolton in High School Musical. He's in it was a thriller horror movie I watched with my partner. And it was one sentence. Coach Bolton does not respect women. That was the entire review.
I do like when the people make the lists on Letterboxd. Those are fun. Like the themed lists. Those are good.
All right, Liz, whose team you want to be on, Hayley's or Andrew?
I'll go with Hayley.
All right. That means, Andrew, you're on first, just to set up how the game works. Are you ready,
Okay.
Andrew?
I'm
Okay.
always ready for this.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Dear Evan Hansen with a poetry kink. Full review.
Oh no.
In what way exactly?
Why would you say this?
Letters.
You know how I feel about Dear Evan Hansen.
I didn't say this. This is someone on
I
Letterboxd
know,
did
but
this.
I'm just
1 star.
That is correct.
Okay.
All right, Liz, you guys are up.
All right.
No taste, I agree.
All right.
Well, if they thought it was like Dear Evan Hansen, they have to give it a 1 star.
well, that's the only way I'll agree. But
All
yeah,
right.
no, Dear
Okay,
Evan
this one is nice and simple. Straight people are fucking weird.
I don't feels weird, but they probably gave it a 1 star, and that makes me sad.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Because like normally it's like, yeah, I'm very tired of like, you know, the cishet romances, but I don't know, Cyrano just works gangbusters for me for some inexplicable reason. I'm seeing the James McAvoy version live next week, so
Ooh.
I have no idea. All I know is like it's you gotta get another modern version that's been translated, and like James McAvoy is playing Cyrano. And he doesn't have a nose in this one. So, like, what's the thing that makes him insecure?
Being a handsome white man, which is
too
really
handsome.
the hardest part
He's just
about
too
being
damn handsome.
I'm excited to see it. I really have. The reviews were good, and I was like, it's 20 minutes away from me. I'll go.
Just 2 dudes writing love letters as straightly as possible.
Yeah. So
all right,
straight.
all right. Andrew, are you ready?
Yeah.
Much like The Sound of Music, I wasn't expecting a war at the end of the movie.
I mean, they hint at it right at the start, but 5 stars.
That is correct. Hey,
All right.
Liz, you got
Ready?
this.
Okay. You know what's better than sex? Receiving a letter.
5 stars.
5 stars.
That's a mood.
Damn, when you get that letter,
Damn,
when that letter
when your
drops.
SO sends you a letter in the mail?
I mean, when people like, I don't get a lot of like actual physical mails. Like when my friends send me like postcards, I'm like, this is the best thing. Like nothing makes me happier.
Roxanne really does have a reaction though when someone walks in on her reading that letter.
Yeah,
The
You know, it's
sexy
like-
letter.
it's
Ooh,
a sexy
boy.
letter. Yeah, no, it's I think a friend of mine wrote a review for it that was like, sometimes Roxanne fucks a love letter. What you gonna do? It was like iconic. Truly.
That's how you get paper cuts, bro.
Be careful, buddy.
All right, whose turn is it?
It's Andrew's turn.
My turn.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
Yeah,
Cyrano, more like Cockano.
it's true though.
Oh no.
He's a power cuck. He's like helping this dude.
He's using his cuck powers for good.
5 stars.
That is a 1 star.
Damn.
This is a villain origin story. Okay, here we go. The edible never hit.
So sad. That's probably a 1 star.
Yes.
That makes me so sad. I don't think I could ever watch this high. I love it too much. I rarely see the things I love high unless like I'm really, really desperate. I don't know.
What if you love like fish or something? Where it's like you have to be high to enjoy it.
I don't know. I mean, wait. I did take an edible at Global Citizen. It was because I was waiting for Coldplay. They were like the headliners, but you know, like 5 hours of other artists. I specifically was like, oh god, it's Camila Cabello. Here we go. Just boop. It hit by the time Coldplay was on, and that was actually really fun. But
Hey. All right, Andrew, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a movie where Peter Dinklage plays a guy called Peter Dunklage and kicks everyone's ass at basketball.
Peter Dinklage. Damn. 5 stars?
That is a 1 star.
How do you write that and then give a 1 star?
I don't know, but it's an amazing review.
It's so good.
Come on and slam.
Welcome to the gym.
No, it'd be like, come on and slam, and welcome to the jam.
That is true. That is
true.
probably how you would sing
Space
it.
Jam 3, but Peter Dinklage is the main
Peter
guy.
Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage.
His name is he's Peter Dinklage, but his character's name is Peter Dunklage. This is
Yeah.
alternate universe Peter
That's-
Dinklage.
It is time for me to dunk.
And Bugs Bunny is like, why are you talking like that?
It's how I talk. I am Peter Dinklage. I
Your
have
name is Peter Dinklage. Moving on.
Yeah, his
I
name
have-
is Peter Dinklage.
good diction.
Peter Dinklage, Josh Groban. There's so many secret identities in this
And then
episode.
Don
I love
Cheadle
it.
dunks a basketball over his head.
Don Cheadle, sorry.
Don Cheadle, I'm sorry.
Cheadle.
And then Josh Groban sings a
Cheadle.
song.
Damn.
It's the best movie ever.
It's
love that
time
it's-
to slam and welcome to the jam.
Damn, I want to see this now. This is like really good.
This is a good movie.
I'm here for
Anyway,
from the people who brought you Barb and Star. Go to Vista Del Mar.
Yeah,
Best movie
Jamie
ever.
Jordan
agree.
as just a guy there. He's there. All right, Liz.
Okay,
take
I'm
it away.
ready. Okay. Why did they simply not just be a throuple?
Good question.
Yeah, that's always how I feel after Cyrano adaptations now. I guess it's a 1-star, but
That is a 5-star.
oh, it is a 5-star. Oh,
They liked it.
oh, they did, and they liked it, and they agree with me that Cyrano and Roxanne
Cyrano
and
and Christian should just, they're basically one person. It's Brain.
They
and
just
Yeah.
smush
Braun, you know?
together and
Yeah,
be
you know
like,
what?
Peter
Yeah.
Dinklage talks and Christian is handsome.
I think they're both handsome,
Tag
to be
team
honest.
duo.
Well, no, they're
Peter
really
Dinklage.
handsome, but that's Christian's role in this relationship. He's
Yes.
he's a handsome, and Peter Dinklage is also handsome, but talks.
Yes.
All right. You ready, Andrew?
Yeah.
Ew, she fucked the weed man for weed. A bitch who's fucking the letter man for letters.
5 stars.
That's a 1 star.
I don't even
I
care.
sent
It's a
that
5
bitch a
star.
letter. Bitches love letters.
Bitches do love letters.
They do.
Bitches do
Letters
love
are
letters.
nice. Send your SO a letter. It's very sweet.
All right, I think we got 2 more in us.
All right. Okay. A key to a woman's heart. A thesaurus, apparently.
5 stars.
That is a 1 star.
Oh,
All right, Andrew, you ready for this?
Yeah. It's
Hey,
a lot
yo,
of 1 stars.
fuck Joe Wright for not giving this a happy ending.
Shit. 1 star?
That is a 5 star.
That's my
That one's a 5 stars?
that's my
but the
read of
thing
Anna
is,
Karenina.
they shouldn't even blame Joe Wright. Blame Edmund Rostand.
No one knows who that is.
I know.
Oh,
They
we're
just
at
know
the
Steve
closest.
Martin was in a version of this in the 80s.
Blame Steve Martin for not ending Bright Star happily.
Oh,
all Steve
Bright
Martin's
Star.
Right off the train.
Throw the baby right off the train.
Right.
Okay. All right. Here's
Bright Star, man.
We'll end with a good one. I think it's a
Yeah.
good one. All right. Cyrano gets stabbed multiple times, but somehow admitting he's in love with Roxanne is the only time we see him complain. He's so me for real.
5 stars. That's
5
a mood.
stars.
Yeah.
Can I read one more just because I find this funny? It's not for any
Absolutely.
points.
I almost read this one.
This is just the chaotic kind of letterbox review I love. A man in my theater left halfway through, came back about 40 minutes later, stood there for about a minute, shrugged, and left again.
1 star.
I don't get it.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
These people, you paid the ticket for a movie, guys.
As I said, they did not advertise this as a musical, and I think that is really tragic.
I agree. But speaking of tragedy, it's time to shill at these people. So let's go into a mid-show announcement and then talk about some songs.
Can we just talk about my favorite Cyrano adaptation really quick?
Yeah.
You guys seen Megamind?
Wait a second.
It's his version of Cyrano.
I can't think
Am
of
I
it.
wrong though?
I mean,
Andrew, edit the Wikipedia page for the play version. Add Megamind. Go.
I never thought about it like that. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh, we need to ponder this. Enjoy these ads. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you in the middle of the show, but we've got to shill at you. This show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Andrew, Patreon is a place where people can donate some money to us, and they get a bunch of fun stuff like podcasts, a monthly Patreon meetup where you get to hang out with us and play games, and video versions of this episode where you can see Hayley's face right now. Oh my, they're dancing. Oh my, they're on the
Wow.
walls. They're
The most skilled dancer I've ever seen.
This
They
is
are
such good
floating.
dancing. You're missing
Oh
out,
my
guys.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
They are absolutely
They are
incredible.
literally
incredible.
hanging out with Coldplay right
Yeah,
now.
Coldplay is here.
Coldplay is in the room. They haven't said anything.
They are
but
just
they're
Just
here.
standing there.
They're being respectful of the podcast process. They know how it is.
There will be an exclusive interview coming out on Patreon though with
Yeah.
all of the Coldplay.
With all of Coldplay, they're announcing their
the
Megamind
Coldplay.
musical.
They are
They're-
working
they're
on a
in-
musical. They are, though.
What is it,
Peter
it
Megamind?
is Megamind.
I wish it was mine. I don't know what it is.
If it's not Megamind, I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've had my hopes dashed already.
All right, Andrew, who's supporting us on Patreon?
Oh boy. Give me a sec. Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Justice Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maneri, Brent Black, Daniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanells, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thesbian, Ren Cullen, Raphael Martinez Salaz, Robert Benjamin, Jessica T, Michelle Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leela, RJ Noriga, Avon Reagan, Charlie B, Patrick Deering, Joe, Avery Brinson, Marilyn Brown, La Femme Fictionale, Bjorn Hermans, Mac the Knife, Erica S, Toriana Frazier, Sammy the Most Lopez, Liana Morton, Angela, Kylie Blazier, Birdman69, Daniel Smith, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Shona Enders, Sophina Alley, The Omega Geek, Tori C, Katrin Evans, and Paige Pearson.
I feel like Katrin is spelled just like Caitlin just to fuck with us, but they give us a little extra financial.
That's what I thought at first, and I was like, wait.
They give us a little financial support that helps us here at fucking Musicals with Cheese. You know who it is.
Yeah, it's
Patreon.
fucking the musical thing.
Musical
Yeah.
thing
Cheese.
we do sometimes.
The
Yeah.
Cheese Podcast.
Strangely, they talk more about Doug Walker than they do musicals most times. It's a weird thing.
Sorry. Just
No, Haley, you were not here, but literally we did an entire episode on Singing in the Rain and mostly talked about Doug Walker.
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, my thoughts on Channel Awesome are rough and awful and they're bad. I still
Yeah, well,
I
we
still
all
watch,
agree
like-
they're bad.
Oh, no,
we're
we hate
making
them.
fun of him actively.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't hate them. I think they're hilarious.
All right, let's get back to the show. Let's start with I know there's a bunch of openings, but Someone to Say is really the true opening number.
I'm nobody's pet, no one's wife, no one's woman. And I won't play that game. I'd give anything for someone to say that they can't live without me and they'll be there forever.
Haley, take it away.
I love that song so much. Even for the first time I heard Jasmine sing it, I thought it was gorgeous. Obviously in the movie, like, Haley is just, the way she sings that song is just phenomenal as well. And just the way that they stage it in the film is so very cool. Just because the way that we just follow her going into the theater and just also following Christian. He's sort of winding his way into the story for the first time. It's just kind of a really cool, like, and even by the end when like random people in the audience are singing too. I really appreciated that. I just think it's kind of a neat little touch. I just think the song is gorgeous. I have no idea when they're ever going to come out with like, you know, vocal selections from this score because like I want to sing it. I think it's a great song. I think it's a gorgeous I Want song. I love that they start with an I Want song.
I like it too, and I like that they effectively set up our romantic leads before Cyrano, which would
Yes.
have, in less capable hands, they would have just been like, start with Cyrano, come on, guys. Like, you know, the
I
movie
like that they
Roxanne.
delay him showing up because, like, we want to get invested in Roxanne, who is the, you know, she is the center of this not quite romantic triangle. It's a triangle, but it's also, it's hard because, like,
It's a square.
it's a square. Freaking de Guiche. Yeah.
It's the love quadrangle, to
Yeah.
quote Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it's a quadrangle.
Quadrangle.
I really like how this scene is shot. I like how it builds. I tend to question movies when they choose a first shot, and I find this first shot of this movie a little confused, but it builds pretty well. Mm-hmm. Like, that's about the only critique I have with this in the movie. I really like it in the stage version. I also feel like the breathlessness that Haley performs with in the movie works its best in here and in I Want More later.
Yeah.
Where-
Yeah. I also, another, like, little, like, just movie set design thing. there's actually a point when like Christian is like walking through the alleyway for the first time. He walks past like there's a little puppet show going on.
Yeah.
If you actually look really closely, that puppet show is just straight up the Rostand Cyrano. There's a dude with a long nose, and there's the balcony, and it's like just there's a little mini Cyrano going on right in the sight. And I didn't notice that till the second time I saw it on the big screen. I was like, hey, that's really clever. Good job, Joe Wright.
What do you think of it, Andrew?
I think it's a good song. You guys have said everything. I think the only thing I wanted to talk about is just how weird it is the way they introduced Cyrano right after this song.
Let's talk about that. That's a good transition, Andrew. Why don't you start the next one, which I believe the title is When I Was Born.
When I was born, yes.
He raps.
Sir, when I was born, the nurses laughed hysterically. They'd never seen anything quite like me, apparently. I'll never forget it. I can still hear them joking. One said, my goodness, what has God been smoking? From when I was born, I learned to control my tears. When they carried me home to town, I left a trail of broken mirrors. Yes, when children see me, they scream and run away. You're absolutely right. Halloween's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, this is the only rap song in the whole thing. I was expecting more, but I think this is the only one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the rapping version of Cyrano, I think that's that's actually the McAvoy version. Apparently, all of the poem stuff in that is rap battles.
Okay, my dumbass literally heard Macklemore version. I was like, Macklemore?
No, McAvoy.
Macklemore Cyrano. Let's go.
Is it the thrift shop or what song?
I'm
anyway?
gonna write some notes, gonna say it's written by this other fella.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta say, I wasn't too impressed with the rapping. I think this is the worst one for me.
Really?
I think this, I was unimpressed by this, and it kind of tainted the Peter Dinklage singing for me, but I think he's just bad at rapping. I don't really know.
That could just be it. Because yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not the best song on the score, but it's just I think as an introduction to him as a character, it does get his character across very well. It's just obviously not the best musical moment for Cyrano.
Yeah, I think it's also confused. Because he used a theatrical technique that would work, I imagine, very well in a stage environment.
Yes, it worked very well on stage.
Where he's calling out in rhyme, and then it kind of slowly turns like, oh, is he just gonna talk? Oh, this is a song. Oh, it like tricks you into figuring out it's a song in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was missing from the movie version. I do agree. The way it was a lot more organic in the stage version.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the only reason why the rapping feels off to you, Andrew. Isn't because it's bad, but I mean, it kind of is because
It just felt like to me, kind of there was this one moment where it's just like, oh, he's gonna rap now? Oh, okay.
I feel like the transitions what threw you off as opposed to like the actual vocal choice itself. And I sympathize with a gentleman that not only who once again rehearsed the song 1,000 times on stage, doing it and performing with the sword in his hand, and then asked to dub with the sword in his hand and try to match the same cadence despite it being a different beat every time in a way. Yeah, I get why people want to sing live.
I think the thing is, I think quite a lot of this movie was done with live takes, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel like this one would be very difficult to do with live takes.
A couple of them were done with live takes.
I think
I know a couple of them were. This one I don't think was, but a couple of them were.
Like when he's singing, actually this is a good transition because I want to talk about Madly. Madly is definitely sung live.
Madly.
That was definitely
yes, Madly
sung
is
live.
definitely sung live.
And I think that works there, and the transition between that is like a perfect build and a perfect use of Peter Dinklage's voice.
Have you ever wanted something so badly you cannot breathe? Have you ever loved someone madly?
Yeah, I think he's a better singer than he is a rapper. Most of the songs where he's singing are mostly pretty good. I think his voice is a little like lacking in range in some cases, but I think they work around it a lot, and I think Madly is one of the better songs for it.
Yes.
I mean, I just think it's really gorgeous, and I like that like a lot of the songs become leitmotifs for the characters, and like things from each song are sort of repeated throughout the score. And Madly is definitely one that is repeated a lot, which I think is gorgeous. I think that's the song Peter Dinklage sang on Colbert to promote the
Yes.
show, and I thought he did a stunning job. It's just great.
Have you ever wanted something? There's so much to talk about here, but I'm running out of time.
Oh, dear.
And there's so much good. Let's talk about a song that I don't love. And it's What I Deserve, because I really like that in the stage version, and I thought I didn't like the song, and I just think I don't like Ben Mendelsohn's performance of it.
I think Ben Mendelsohn's having a grand, campy old time as DeGuiche in this film, and I enjoy it as a good villain song. I just, in the moment, like, if you treat it as very campy, it's great.
Yeah.
No, I feel ya. I mean...
And I also feel like Joe Wright was kind of like, I don't know what to do to shoot this. Just walk.
Walk menacingly.
Him, like, weirdly standing on, like, the stairs or something. That was kind of, like, interesting, but yeah, it didn't seem like they had any idea where to put the character.
Yeah, and Bree, right now, play a comparison between the stage version and the movie version. I feel like everyone's gonna kind of get it.
I deserve a little kindness. I deserve my due respect. I deserve to be beloved, just like everybody else. I deserve my place in heaven. I deserve an equal share. I deserve my rightful cut of everything, everywhere.
Roxanne, am I asking for too much? So why should I have to beg for what everybody wants? Take me right now, I don't care. If I have your love, I'll have no fear. Nothing's even, nothing is fair. Roxanne, I didn't ask to be here. I'll pick the lock, I'll draw the knife, I'll climb the wall, I'll crash the gate.
I want to talk about there's a lot of kind of poppy numbers that eventually did get radio edits, like Someone to Say, Every Letter, and I Need More all got radio edits.
Yeah.
I Need More is probably like the most effective of them as like a pop song.
Yeah. God, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
I've cornered myself in the loneliest place. I won't let you lose me now that you found me. You know what to say, so just say it now to me. I flow to the hours with everyone else, but I always only think of you by myself. Tell me your secrets. Who are you in private? When you can't sleep, tell me how you survive it.
Just great, and she's super power belty, which is fun, and just it has, I don't know, it's great. I love how she's just all this really cool, very powerful walking that all these characters do, and then they add in the choreo, and like everybody kind of joins it. It's just, I love how Joe Wright filmed this movie so much, and I think it's a really cool number. And obviously letting Roxanne get to have all that power and control there is very cool.
Hell yeah. All right, my favorite song in this entire show, the one that makes this movie come together, the show come together, is Wherever I Fall.
So take this letter to my wife and tell her that I loved my life. I'll tell my boys the Lord, he found me. When I say their names out loud, they're all around me. And tell them not to cry at all. Heaven is wherever I fall.
Yes.
Yeah,
Glenn
it's the best one for
Hansard.
sure.
I directed a music video to one of his songs when I was in college. It
Oh
was
my
great.
That's amazing.
His voice is incredible.
His voice is incredible. I'm very, very happy that the first time I saw it, of course, it was with our dear Pierre standby, Scott Stangland. And oh no, that song, first time I heard it, I ugly cried. I was so moved. I just love that we like get these characters that aren't even central to the plot at all, but like they get to tell their side of the story for a little bit, and just getting to it's so heartbreaking and so gorgeous. But Hanser did a beautiful job. All the guys in the movie did a great job.
Yeah.
And they're all dying because Cyrano couldn't just tell someone he loved her.
Unrequited love is a bitch.
Yeah, Andrew. So this is where I tell you I'm in love with you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you to the front.
Oh God.
I think Bree sends you guys to the front. In this
Wherever I fall. Yeah, this song's great. I don't want to spoil too much of it. I mean, if you know Cyrano, but this song doesn't end on the most upbeat notes for some of our characters. And it feels like an 11 o'clock number in all ways.
Yes. It's just a gorgeous way to, like, it's the 11 o'clock for everybody, because it's basically, we do get to kind of get the fates of this love triangle in a way. This basically sets it in stone how it's going to end.
Yeah, but shit, it's pretty. And I feel like the choir of voices works. This is one of those rare songs that works so much better in the film than on stage, despite Scott's.
Because, as we said, we have this massive ensemble all on the side of this mountain that, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if that was the day that Etna erupted, but I know they were filming on the side of Etna when it erupted. So that just adds a whole layer of danger and sadness to this whole song. Oh.
It punctuates Christian's stuff very well without spoils. And that's the last song I think we need to talk about tonight. Listen to the cast album, listen to the soundtrack, because movie. Hey folks.
That's how movies work.
Shut up, Andrew. Hey folks, what is our overall thoughts on Cyrano and our cheese rating? Hayley, you want to go first?
Ooh, I mean, it's just, I waited 2 years for this movie. I am like the one person Cyrano hype squad. I'm not the one person. There's a couple people in this movie Facebook group that I'm in. And there's a couple of us that really love it, but I was always the one posting about it anytime we got new trailers, do anything, dropping it in the chats, whatever. There was a point where, like, if it's not tied for my favorite movie of all time, it's very, very high up on my favorients. I just think
what would it tie with?
It's up there with Jojo Rabbit and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I love that movie. Cannot agree with you more. That movie is definitely my top three.
They're just all incredible films. But like Cyrano just took such a beautiful stage show, made it just an even more beautiful film, which I think is rare. Because like I mean, there's no rare times that a movie musical is just as good as the stage version, and for me, this is one of those rare times. It's just a really special film, and I love it a lot, and I try to make everybody see it. For me, I'd say it's some good ass goat cheese with balsamic vinegar, because it's delicious, it's creamy, it makes you feel comfort, but then there's just that little bit of sadness and acid, just to balance it out. It's just it's classy and it's beautiful and it makes you cry.
That's perfect. All right, Andrew, you're up. Beat that.
I thought the movie was pretty good. I'd recommend it. Go check it out. I don't think I can really say much more beyond that.
So Andrew's the Christian of this dynamic.
Yeah.
I think we set that up earlier.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that as well. Yeah, I think it was.
You're proud of dying on the front lines?
Godspeed, soldier.
Respect the troops.
Women love that.
What the fuck?
Okay, and for a cheese rating, I'm going to give it Nibble Nose Cheese, which is a cheese company from the UK with an awful name, but it's kind of funny in this context, I suppose.
All right, Liz, what do you think of our discussion, your cheese rating of that?
I love your discussion. I've discovered during my research while you're recording of various aspects of Cyrano, I have seen almost every teen movie adaptation of Cyrano that has been released.
Can you list them for us?
Okay,
least...
the ones I've seen? All right,
yes.
Let's go. I have seen Let It Shine, the Disney Channel original movie. I've seen Sierra Burgess is a Loser. I've seen #Roxy because I hate myself. and I've seen the half of it, which is actually a pretty good movie.
Half of it is great.
I know, it's so cute and
it's
gay.
the
I
lesbian
love it.
Cyrano.
I love it. I love
Lesbian
it. It's
Cyrano.
adorable.
That's
So-
the only way you can improve on the material.
It really is.
So, question. While me and Andrew started That Guy with the Glasses podcast, does that mean Haley and Liz are going to start their own Cyrano rewatch podcast where they watch all
Watch
versions
every
of
version
Cyrano?
of Cyrano.
Watch every version of Cyrano. I'm actually very down for that once I'm not
yeah,
super
let's do-
busy with things.
Once
know
their
what?
schedules clear up, we'll talk.
Yeah, come talk to me after I've seen Coldplay 7 times in 3 states and 2 countries.
You got it. We'll
All right,
get
yeah,
there.
that's happening soon. That'll be done next week.
Yeah, but anyway, so I've seen a lot of versions of Cyrano de Bergerac, and I've wanted to watch this one. I watched some of it recently. I didn't finish it or anything. I'm working on a thing that I have to watch movies for, so
What thing?
I don't know if we can talk about it.
No,
talk
we
about
can't.
it yet, Jess.
I just like fucking with you.
But yeah, no. So I had to watch a bunch of movies for that, so I'm trying to catch up. So I was like, no, I'll just do my actual work today instead of watching Cyrano. So I'm a little behind, but I am definitely now even more interested in watching it because the songs are great. It looks beautiful. It has great acting. I love Haley Bennett. I love most people in the cast really. Even Ben Mendelsohn and his angriness at life. So I'm gonna give this give your discussion a dragon's egg cheese ball.
So I like Cyrano a lot. I think it's one of the better movie adaptations of a stage show. There's parts of the stage show I do miss though. I can't lie about that. I think Peter Dinklage is kind of a towering figure in this film, so much that he almost overshadows everyone else. Cause he's just that good.
The fact he didn't get an Oscar nomination is frankly criminal.
Yeah. This wasn't even a good year for Best Actor nominations. Did anyone
Yeah.
really care about Peter Cumberbatch and The Power of the Dog?
No,
he wasn't even
he
the
was-
best part of that movie.
He was
Power
good
of
in
the
that.
Dog. What the heck is that?
Gay cowboy movie.
Gay cowboy
You're not
movie.
wrong. You're not wrong.
Another one.
And it lost.
They won Best Director.
Good for Jane Campion, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
I don't
yeah.
know. I didn't watch the Oscars. I think I was.
You
I don't even
missed
know what I
the
was doing.
slap heard around the world.
Oh, I know about it. It was everywhere. I was just like kind of
I
desensitized
turned
to it. I
off
guess.
the Oscars 5 minutes before the slap happened.
Oh no.
Did you turn
Did
the
they
Oscars
even,
before
like,
Warren
air it,
Beatty
though?
read the wrong nominee too?
Yes. No, I watched the Oscars. She said La La Land. I'm like, oh, Best Picture's over. Turned off the TV. 4 a.m. My girlfriend shakes me awake. La La Land didn't win Best Picture. It was Moonlight. And I was like, what the fuck?
I love both of
What a-
those
what a
movies.
scandal.
That was a very rough. That was a very bizarre year. I love both of those movies. So
What a weird Best Picture way to end the fucking Oscars that year.
If only Will Smith was there.
He won't be there for another 10 years.
sorry.
Keep La La Land's name out your fucking mouth.
Why did he do that? Like, what the heck?
Oh,
What was he thinking?
He was thinking, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I mean, I think he pretty vocalized it pretty well.
I don't know.
I
The slap
mean, I
discourse
suppose
is a
so.
lot.
That discourse is a lot. There's a lot of layers.
But my cheese rating is Cyrano's Cheese and Bacon Mushrooms, made by Stephanie Manley on January 19th, 2021, on the website Copycat Recipes.
Okay.
Very great.
Juliet,
Great.
provide a link in the doc.
That's
Great.
incredible. I love it.
I don't. There's not even a nose pun in this. I don't know why they're called Cyranos. All right, thank you guys for
Cyranos.
listening.
Oh.
Haley, promote your stuff.
Okay, so it's kind of an interesting time to promote myself right now because I don't really have a ton going on. I've been on a Twitter hiatus for almost a little over 7 months now. But I will be back in May for Coldplay tour time. You can follow me on Twitter at Hayley St. James.
Great Twitter.
Great.
I mean, when I'm active. I'm on
10 out of 10
Facebook.
Twitters.
I'm on New Play Exchange, produce my stuff. Some high schools are doing some of my 10 minutes in like May and June, so that'll be fun. I did just have play go up at National Women's Theater Festival, which was very cool. I work at a children's specialty bookstore, and it's a really fun time. Just follow my Twitter if you want to see me occasionally talk about theater, but mostly talk about my favorite band. I think
He's
since
here
the last
with
time I
us
was,
tonight.
yeah, I mean, it's funny. I think since the last time I was here, most people don't, unless they do follow me. I don't know if they realize that I actually met Coldplay and they follow me on Twitter now. So like, yeah, that happened. I don't know. I peaked in September. It's been downhill ever since. But hey, Cyrano's freaking amazing. So
Hell yeah. Well, let me tell you when I peaked. I peaked last year when I met Hayley St. James, and it's been up and up in my life ever since. So,
oh, was that a pun? Was that the Up and Up? Was that a Coldplay pun? Because there's a song
might
called
be.
Up and Up. That's a Coldplay pun. I'm taking it.
I'm gonna give that. But thank you guys for listening. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals, Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. We have a Patreon-only podcast hosted by Liz Destin and I, and we're talking about Tangled the series. So come join us over there. It's a lot of fun. So good. It's so good.
Eden
We're just
Espinosa.
yes, we're halfway through season 1, and people are replying with fucking spoilers. And when
Oh
we're just
no.
There's a giant thread. It was just full of spoilers, and I just didn't read it. And then just replied, "We're only on season 1."
and then they were like, "Why don't you mute the thread? Why don't you?" And I was like,
Because we're
"You
tagged.
come into my house." Into my thread and post Tangled spoilers and then say, "Why didn't you mute the thread?" Fuck you. Our title card is created by Jolene Casco. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. This show is produced by the wonderful, the incredible, we miss you so much, Brianna Jones. Our theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK, and they're pretty fucking cool. We got a lot of new theme songs, and I think they're pretty neat. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. All right, folks, anything else we got to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah. Answer me this. What's the girl's name in Megamind?
Roxanne.
There's a conspiracy. I need more. I need more.
Like, Will Ferrell just needs to do a cover of "I Need More," and then we're there.
Megamind has the twist to it where the guy and and Cyrano are both the same person, just in a disguise watch though. So
I'm dressed as the disguised version of Megamind today.
you
Yeah,
are.
you are. You look like Disguise Megamind.
All right, we'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
Megamind.
Fucking Megamind.
Fucking Megamind.
It's Megamind.
You know what? I don't even need to end the song. Fucking Megamind.
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 Megamind. Megamind.
Megamind the musical by
Megamind.
Coldplay.
Someone
Yes.
make that happen.
Coldplay, make that
It
happen.
has to be AC/DC, but